DreAllDay.com.
What up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. It's Friday afternoon, so you know what that is. We're back for Q&A. This is Q&A number 12. As usual, I have not looked at these questions. First, we got to give two announcements. First of all, I got to let y'all know this is brought to you by G Fuel Natural Energy and Natural Energy Formula. It's a sugar-free formula. I take this sometimes in the mornings, not every time, because sometimes if my energy is cool, I don't need it. I took it one day when my energy was okay, and I felt like I had like 10 cups of coffee, and I don't even drink coffee. But this is really good energy. There's no crash. That's the most important thing about it. I didn't crash even that day when I took it when I shouldn't have. It's called G Fuel, so y'all can check that out if you're interested. Next thing, the Work on Your Game bands are here. That says, if you can't read that, that says work on your game. And on the other side of it is WOYG. These bands will be available at WOYG.net. That's the merchandise website. The price for these, they're going to be $5 a piece. $5 a piece. Shipping, international shipping is $8. Domestic shipping is $5. Now, I would charge a lot less for shipping if I could, but the United States Postal Service, the prices just keep going up. They keep raising their shipping prices. So if we could ship it for cheaper, I'll ship it to y'all for cheaper. But we ain't Amazon. We're not no Victoria's Secret, they get crazy bulk discounts. We don't get that. So it's $5 shipping. Domestic, in the United States, $8 shipping if you live outside the United States. The band itself is $5. We got medium and large. This right here that I'm holding is a large. I got a medium on my wrist, and this fits perfectly. It don't slide all up and down my wrist, and I got pretty thin wrists. So any of you, if you got a thicker wrist, then you can go with the large. And if you got a wrist that's closer to my size or smaller, then you go with the medium. I got the medium on right here. So that's Working Your Game bands. That's WOYG.net. I mentioned G Fuel. Let's get right into these questions. Got about 70 plus comments this week. Let's see if we got any good questions. First of all, Elias Money 12 says, when's the last time a person broke your ankles and made you do the splits? That's never happened. Nobody's ever made me do the splits. I think, of course, I got my ankles broke before in moves. Probably like back when I was like a teenager, not like nothing crazy since then. And really, I don't even pay attention to that type of stuff no more. Nobody like made me fall or nothing like that. Me, I'd rather look at you got to finish the play with a point. So if somebody do a nice move but they don't score, then it don't really register to me. J Shoes 232 says, how far do you plan to go with basketball in life? Has it changed since I was a kid? Go as far as I want to go, as far as I can go, and for as long as I feel like doing it. When I get to the point where it's not fun, or I feel like it's a job more than I'm enjoying it, or to the point where it's taking more work just to be able to get on the court, like physically. Eventually, every human's body is going to get that way, so we can't play basketball forever, because all of us would if we could. When it gets to any of those points, then I'll be done with basketball. I'll tell everybody it's been a pleasure, and it'll be over. But I'll still be around. I just won't be playing basketball every day. Balling like the Raptors says, Dre, you ever got a chance to meet Kobe Bryant or Meek Mill since they are Philly natives? Well, Kobe Bryant is not actually from Philly. He's from the suburbs of Philly, and Kobe's about, I think, 3 or 4 years older than me. So, no, I have never met Kobe Bryant, and Meek Mill is way younger than me. So I was probably, by the time Meek Mill even came out and got known, I wasn't even living in Philly no more, and he's from a whole different part of town. So, no, I've never met either of them. Nick Burt says, I wanted to say I'm a big fan. I love your videos. Thank you, Nick. Says, my question is, in the mid-2000s, did I ever participate in any M1 street ball related events such as an open run, and how was my experience? And Nick, no, I never did the M1 open run. I think I was going to go one year, but I didn't have a car that summer. I think something happened to my car at school in college, and I didn't have a car for one summer. That was the summer I would have went to the open run. But other than that, I went to one M1 game. I remember they had one in North Philly down 16th Street, which is like the legendary court in Philly. Like, that's the #1 place to play street ball in Philly. By the time I was good enough where I knew I could play there, I wasn't even like around there no more. That was probably like my college years, like 18, 19 and up. And then I moved out of Philly after college, a couple years after college. So the M1, I did go when they had the game down 16th Street. This is when M1 was still playing games. When they would do their tour and they had the bus and all that, they eventually moved it to where they was playing in arenas. Like they playing Madison Square Garden or American Airlines or whatever the big arena is in that city. But this was the year when they were still playing outside. Like they would come and play a game outdoors. It didn't cost nothing to come see the game. You just had to be there. We went down there. This is in North Philly. The line was around the fucking block. It was long as hell. We did get in. It was packed. It was kids sitting up on the roof of the school. It was people up in the trees. it was crazy. The game was very enjoyable. I mean, I don't remember nothing specific about it. It was and one, you know, crossovers, people dunking, the announcer going crazy. It was a really good game. So that's my only real experience live with and one. I never did the open run, never played in the game, nothing like that. Ziggy 1000. So this is the best player I ever saw in person, played with or against. I've answered that question already, Ziggy. Y'all look through the old Q&As or look at the fact page on my website. Armani Burrows says, how do I get my vertical leap higher? Armani, go to dreallday.com/jump. dreallday.com/jump. Dimitri Moraitis says, what got you to have a tough personality? I don't know. Do I have a tough personality? I mean, you had to ask me a little bit something more specific than that, Dimitri. That's a very broad question. You got to be more specific as to what you mean. Ask me a more specific question. But if you were to go to my website and read through the things I wrote, I shared a lot about myself. And if you look through all my videos, especially the ones where I'm talking, such as this one and the motivational videos, I feel like you will know a lot about my personality. People whom I met have said to me, you know, I kind of feel like I know you a little bit because I watch so much of your videos and I read the stuff you write. So if you do those things, you probably get a better idea of me as a person. Champs All Day says, what are the keys to a great crossover? Key to a great crossover, Champs, I say, is deception. You got to make, all a crossover is a fake. Crossover is a counter move. When a defender believes you can blow by them, let's say going to your left, a crossover means you just fake like you're going to go to the left, but instead you go right. That's all a crossover is. So the key to a great crossover is you have to have that defender believe that you can beat them in one direction, and then you fake that way, and then you go the other direction. That's all it is. I got a tutorial on the crossover posted on my channel. Just type in Dre Baldwin crossover, you'll see it. Video got over like 800,000 views. It should be the #1 result. The affiliates, no. Farzan Ali says, how do you get proper backspin on the basketball while shooting? Well, Farzan, I don't feel like there's a such thing as proper backspin. You have to figure out what kind of backspin you want. And to get the certain type of backspin you get on the ball, you just got to let the ball roll off your fingertips. But I can't explain that in words. You better watch the video. So type in Dre Baldwin, I think shooting technique. Type in my name, Dre Baldwin. Type in shooting technique. Or just type in shooting tutorial or shooting. And you'll see the tutorials I've done on shooting, where I got one that's called, you know, proper shooting form, how to get the right backspin on the ball. There is a video on that where I show in detail up close so you can see exactly what I mean. The Affiliates Project says, do you have any favorite moments you can remember from any of your games? Of course, I got a lot of favorite moments. If I could pick, I'll just name one favorite moment. This might not be the #1. Let's say one favorite moment. Let me think about that. Probably when I was playing in, let's just say one, I'll say when I was playing in Montenegro. I was on a team that, the team wasn't really that good, and the coach, for whatever reason, my minutes was sporadic, so he put me in one game. We was down by like 20. It was the second quarter. I got in the game in the second quarter. We down 20, and I came in and I didn't miss no shots. I scored like 13 points in like 15 minutes. I wasn't missing. Every time I got the ball, I shot it, and I scored. And after the game, everybody was coming up to me, shaking my hand, even though we lost by 20. I only played like 15 minutes. Still, even when I came in and was making everything, he still took me back out. So that was fun because it kind of validated the fact I'm sitting there like, yo, why am I not getting the game on this team that's not that good? But anyway, that would be one moment. There's a lot of them, but I would have to think a lot harder about it. Jacob Wilson says, Dre, when were you able to dunk? How can you expand your range? Like, what muscle do you get to work stronger in shooting? First I dunked when I was 16. People ask me that every week. And there is no one muscle that will make you a better shooter, Jacob. If you want to get better at shooting, you got to strengthen your entire body. The best way to do that is to get a full body workout program. I'm talking about the Ultimate Athlete. That's a 15-week program that's available at hoophandbook.com. Hoophandbook.com is written by my trainer, Maria. If you ever watch my off-the-court videos, you see me working out with the female trainer. That's Maria. She wrote the program. It's 15 weeks. You don't need a gym. You don't need equipment. You don't need weights. You can do it at home. You can do it in your living room if you want to. That'll strengthen your entire body. Shooting is an entire body movement. You need to jump, so you use your legs, your glutes, your quads, your calves, your feet, your arms, your torso. Everything goes into shooting. There's no one muscle that's going to make you be shooting from 10 feet further just because you lifted some weights. That's not how it works. Thomas Finn says, what defense would you run on your team playing a three-point shooting team that doesn't have much inside presence, man-to-man, or a 2-3 zone? He's basically asking for my opinion. Well, me, I don't really like a 2-3 zone. I'd rather prefer play man-to-man. But man-to-man requires everybody knows how to play, and people have the physical capabilities of playing, which means know how to work around screens. Are we going to switch? Do people communicate? All those things are part of it. So it's not basically do you play 2-3 or do you play man-to-man. It depends on your personnel And whatever personnel you got, whether you play zone or man, players have to know how to play defense. A lot of players don't know how to play defense, especially when you're talking about rec league type teams. Like I played in this rec league last summer, and there was this dude on the team. Every time a screen happened, this dude would yell out switch at the last moment because he was too lazy to stay with his man to fight around the screen. So he'd be like switch, switch at the last second. So it ended up 2 people on one guy and then another person wide open. I'm like, dude, stop fucking switching. Just stay on your man. When you get screened, fight around it. Because he was like a husky dude. Like he had muscles. So I'm like, dude, why you keep dying on the screens? Dying on the screen means when somebody set a screen, you just don't even try to go around it. You just get lazy. So I'm like, dude, go around the screen. But no matter how many times I said that to him, he kept doing it because it was just a habit of his. But he didn't know how to play basketball. The only place he ever played was in these rec leagues. So if you're talking about guys who play rec league ball, Thomas, you might be in a dead-end type situation no matter what. If guys don't know how to play, they don't know how to communicate, they don't understand the game. Because usually to understand how to play defense the proper way, team defense, you have to have some team experience. And if guys don't have that, you might be in trouble. Cameron Andrews says, what do you do for training? And Cameron, I have no idea why you asked me that question. Vladimir 1 says, in the last Q&A, I didn't ask his question. All right, he says, if I go to the Bay Area where I work with Ship Teams Devin, it'd be fascinating to see a mini movie of him and some moves. He tried to reach Coach Nick, but unfortunately he doesn't respond. Vladimir, we don't know. We'll see what happens when the time comes. Jeremy Hooper. Oh, he didn't say nothing. He was just laughing about something I said. Rob J says he feels safe trying G Fuel now. All right, Rob J. So if you're thinking about it, yeah, try it out. Joey Cooley says my favorite basketball movie. I don't have one. I don't really watch many movies. I'm not a movie guy. Tyson Sue says I should team up with Kick. It says guineas, like guinea pig, but I think he meant genius. I think he meant Kick Genius. Tyson, I did a Q&A video with Kick Genius. It's on my collaborations page. If you just search that search bar up there, type in my name, Dre Baldwin, and type in Kick Genius, you'll see the Q&A we did together. I also played with those guys up in New York at the Summer Series game last August. Sean Abid says, no, that's not a good question. Ahmed Masood says, who's the best player I play with? Somebody already asked me that. Ahmed, go to the fact page on my website. Megan Fox, person's name is Megan Fox, says, did I ever watch Coach Carter? Yes, I have. Matthew O'Shea J says, do I still play baseball? No, I have not touched a baseball or baseball bat in years. XXX795, 9 says, how does boxing help with basketball skills? I don't know. I never told you that it did. So if you want to know, you should probably go ask somebody who's done both. Akun Akan says, what's my favorite basketball movie? What's all these basketball movie questions? 9000ization says, what's the best team I played against overseas? The best team I played against overseas, and what was the name of that team? If I think about it, if I think of the name of the team for the end of the video, I'll tell you there is a team I have in mind, but I can't remember their name. And this was a team from the country of Montenegro. If anybody who lives in Montenegro or Serbia, you know the top team in the country because they were clearly better than everybody else. I just can't remember their name. Isaac Rioja says, Dre, how can I break someone's ankles? Well, breaking someone's ankles, you can't really, it's not something you can kind of aim to do. It's just something that happens. I mean, if you want to do a move, I think you mean how can you do a move where you fake a guy out a lot? And like I talked about earlier with the crossover, you got to have them think you're doing one thing and you actually do another thing. That's all it is to it. If you want to be able to do that, you need to play a lot so you develop some feel for the game, some instinct, because that's how you're going to be able to pull the move off. And then you need to have the skill, the physical how-to, the ability to actually do it. The only way you're going to get that is by playing a lot and practicing a lot. So YouTube is not going to be the answer to your question. You need to get out there and actually do it. Andy Sketch Talk 23 says, did I date in high school or focus on basketball? Andy Sketch Talk, why would I have to do one or the other? Nobody plays basketball 24 hours a day. Nobody's dating 24 hours a day. It's enough time to do both if you wanted to. Batu1383 says, great video. Thank you for the answer. No problem, Batu. Thank you for the question. GZ Dog PSN says, would it be a Kevin Love signature workout program? Yes, there will be. Timmy Olo says, how many hours are you in the gym a day? No set amount of time. I don't watch the clock when I'm in the gym. I just get in, do what I want to work on, and get out of there. It's not about a certain amount of time. And the thing about the time, even if I knew the exact time, it wouldn't make sense for me to say, because if I say I'm in the gym 2 hours a day, then people would say, all right, well, I'm going to do 2 hours a day so I could be as good as you. But that wouldn't necessarily apply, because it depends on what you're doing during those 2 hours. Or then you have somebody who say, well, you do 2 hours, I do 3. So that means I work harder than you. That would not necessarily be true. It depends on what you're doing. And then somebody says, well, if I only do 1 hour, is that good enough? And then I get 30 people asking me that shit. And then I had to tell them it's not about how long you're in the gym, is what you do. So no matter what the amount of time you're in the gym, it doesn't matter. It's what you're getting done while you're in the gym, not about how long you're in the gym. Jack Hankins says, "This is my favorite food that is not so healthy." I don't really mess with foods that are not so healthy. My favorite food is not so healthy. I would say probably something cake, ice cream, cheesecake, something like that. Idris Shaw says, "What do you do to recover after a hard workout or game?" Well, after a hard workout again and recovering, your body needs, this is not me necessarily, there's no certain things I necessarily do every time, or if I have a hard workout that I do if I had an easy workout, quote unquote. So it's like your body needs rest, your body needs nourishment, and you can do things to recover, such as foam rolling and stretching. So foam rolling, stretching, rest, such as i.e. sleep, and nourishment, like type of foods you eat, and drinking a lot of fluids, water, put back in your body. Ice on your knees or on your feet, on your ankles, on your back, whatever you need to put ice on. Stretch, foam roll, that's it. Jeremy, he didn't say, he said something was funny. Drake Jr. says, "What's the greatest way to make someone fall?" Greatest way to make someone fall is to take their feet out from under them. So if you're walking down the street right now, you see somebody walking, grab their ankles and pull, and they'll fall. So that's the greatest way to make someone fall. Italian Stallion says, "Was I good at school? What subjects did I like the most?" Well, Italian Stallion depends on what you consider good, so you got to quantify that. Good is relative. And what subjects did I like the most? No subject in particular. Nothing I can think of off the top of my head. Probably business classes, but they weren't that great. Tom Henderson says, "How is the team building going for the basketball tournament?" He's talking about the $500,000 tournament that is in Philly this June that I announced a few videos back. You can see my team at dreallday.com/TBT for the basketball tournament. And he said, "Have I found some bigs yet?" Well, Tom, if you go to that link that I just mentioned, you'll see my team. Kevon Wesley says, "Is the fitness equipment me and Maria use, is that available in most gyms?" Well, I haven't been in most gyms. I mean, Kevon, there are 1,000,000 gyms in the United States. I've been in maybe 100 of them or 1,000 of them, so I can't speak for most gyms. You have to go in the gym and look. And while you asking, you can just go to the gym and see. Kevin Salomon says, "What are some tips I could use to make my teardrop shot better?" Kevin, you want to be better at teardrop shooting? Get on the court and practice that shit. There ain't no tips. Get on the court and practice, and you won't need tips. You'll be good at it, just like that. Griffiths DR1 says, What do you do if no matter what you do or say, your teammates don't pass you the ball?" Work on your game, get better. And if you find that the situation is that impossible, Griffiths, quit. Go play for somebody else. If the situation is just that terrible that they're not giving you the ball, you probably just need to get better, because if you're a good player, they'll give you the ball. And if you're a good player, you'll find a way to get the ball. You won't need anybody to give it to you. You'll find a way to go get it. Go grab a rebound, play some defense, and then you'll have the ball. Now go do something with it. Jace Shillcutt says, "I look for a footwork playlist on your channel and cannot find it. Did I skip it?" Well, Jace, it depends on what type of footwork you're looking for. Footwork in a post, footwork for driving, footwork for shooting. Then you just look up those particular things. Like I have a post moves playlist, I have driving moves playlist, I have shooting moves playlist. And if you're looking for behind the back moves, I got a playlist for that. You're looking for crossovers, I got a playlist for that. You're looking for one dribble pull-ups, I got stuff for that. Looking for shooting drills, I got stuff for that. So I don't have a playlist that says just says footwork, because anytime you're doing footwork, you're doing something with it. So if I do footwork in a post, then it's a post move. So that would be in a post moves playlist. If I do footwork for a driving, then that's a driving move. So that'll be in the driving moves playlist. If I do footwork and I shoot the ball, then that's shooting. It's footwork for shooting moves. So those are the things that you have to look up. David John says, how do you get out of a shooting slump, as I'm in one right now? The best way to get out of a shooting slump is to keep shooting. Yeah, no magic tricks, no magic words, no secrets. Keep shooting until you stop missing. Ian Sexton says, "At what point did I ever consider quitting basketball or giving up on the game? Ian, read my book. It's called Buy a Game. DreAllDay.com/buy a game. That's B-U-Y as in buy groceries from the store. Buy a game. That book is completely free. It's available in PDF format on my website, DreAllDay.com/buy a game. Beastful5555. He says, I'm 13 years old, 5 feet 5 inches. I'm mostly athletic point guard. He wants to get the Russell Westbrook signature workout program. Is it for people of all ages or mostly suited for older, stronger people? No, Beastful, you can use that program. It's for people of all ages. It's a skills-based program, so it has nothing to do with how strong you are, how old you are. You just do the work, you develop the skills. That's it. So yes, the program will quote-unquote work for you as long as you do the work. Reagan Juan says, thank God I found your vids. Well, Reagan, thank God. I'm glad that you found the vids. I'm glad they're useful for you. He appreciates the hard work and commitment. All right, well, Reagan, thank you. Dr. Chris 100 says, I'm sorry for commenting. All right, he didn't actually ask a question. All right. Abbas Sali 810 says, I work on my game every day after school. Some days I do well, some days I suck, but I know why. He says, when people start talking shit, he already has low confidence when he plays, and when they get in his head, he freezes up and gets nervous. How can he boost his confidence? And any tips on how to not let other players get to him? Abbas Sali, you should check out the video I have on confidence. So go to the search bar up there, type in my name, which you know, and type in the word confidence. And then also type in my name and type in mental game. And also everything that I just mentioned, the videos you'll find there, you can find on my website. You go to the guides and tips page and also the skills page. You'll see the videos that I have on those two topics, the mental game and confidence, and also wrote 2 books on that. One is called The Mirror of Motivation. The other one is called The Mental Handbook. I think the mental handbook would be very good for you. You should check that book out. Johnny Tover says, I looked around and couldn't find an answer. So, do you eat rice cakes? And what about whole wheat bread? Well, Johnny, I'll address that stuff in my next diet and nutrition video. Probably be about a month from now. But if you looked around and you couldn't find the answer, I'm guessing that you saw all the diet and nutrition videos that I posted. And if you don't see the answer there, then you're going to have to wait till the next diet and nutrition video I make, which will be maybe about a month from now, maybe at the end of April or early May. But if you haven't, go to my website and click on the link that says Diet and Nutrition, where everything I've talked about thus far is covered, plus links from a bunch of experts who know a lot more about nutrition than I do. Muggs, Mr. GS 416 Gaming says, do I keep in contact with teammates I played with overseas by what he loves the Q&A videos? Well, first, thank you for loving the videos. And yeah, I keep in contact with some players. I keep in contact with a lot of players. I mean, a lot of people follow me. I follow a few other people, and more people know me off the internet stuff really than off me playing, actually. Ricky Jordan says, whenever I play ball, I can never read everything on the court. I always focus on what's in front of me. How can I improve my court vision? Well, Ricky, keep playing in more games until it gets better. That's the only way you're going to develop court vision. You can't develop it by watching YouTube videos. People can't teach you how to see. I mean, you got to play the game and learn. That's it. Rob J. He says, since the summer is coming up, I have a lot more free time since school is out. Is it okay if he starts a position of power? That's the strength training program at Hoop Handbook. While he's doing the Ultimate Athlete, should you do Ultimate Athlete first? Rob, you should do one program at a time. Do not do both of those at the same time. Armand Morayer says, thanks for the latest answer. He says he wonders if I'll make another video about the NBA season so far. Armand, I'll probably make one at the end of the regular season. Maybe just talking about the playoffs, and then maybe one like before the finals. But that's it. Coach Alex Mastro says, when I was younger, what else did I want to be besides a basketball player? Nothing. I didn't have any other thing that I was definitely set on being. The game is on. Says, I feel like I'm really good at shoot-arounds and practices, but once it comes to the actual games, I'm outshined by others, and I become nervous. What do I think he should do to improve in the actual games? You should play in more actual games. That's what you should do. And you should also go to the guides and tips page on my website. I think I'll have an annotation somewhere up here for that. And read the things I wrote about people who play well in practices but don't play well in games. People ask me that question every week. I know it's a common problem for a lot of young players, so I have addressed that in writing, so go to my website and read it. Eric G. says, you mentioned that you played against a number of NBA players. The thing they had in common was that they can shoot the lights out. Did I mention that? Well, if he says I did, I probably did. And he says, what about defense? What's different and special about NBA players in terms of defense? Well, the thing about defense is it's effort, and in the NBA, every player is athletic, strong, quick, tall. They can run, they can jump. Everybody can move a lot better. And you got to understand, defense is not just a one-on-one thing. Defense is 5-on-5. So if you're playing a pickup game and you blow by the guy that's guarding you, you might have a wide open lane to the basket. But you're playing against NBA guys, you blow by the first guy, there's another guy who's going to be there because they understand how to play. Like I talked about in the guy's earlier question about playing 2-3 or man. If the guys don't know how to play defense, no matter what scheme you got, it's just not going to work. But if people know how to play defense, even if one guy gets beat, the next guy's there to help. If you try to throw a pass, the next guy's rotating over to where that pass is coming. So that's the difference in defense. It's not necessarily their physical abilities, it's the know-how that comes from the experience of playing so much basketball. If you're in the NBA, you played a lot of basketball, you got a lot of game experience playing against the best players you could possibly face. So that's the main difference. M.A. Lincoln says, I'm in a situation where I can only do stationary dribbling drills. So his question is, can stationary dribbling significantly improve your handles, or is it better not to waste time and dribble it on the go? Well, M.A. Lincoln, for those who don't understand his question, he said he can only do stationary drills, but then he asked me, can he get better doing that, or should he not waste time and dribble it on the go? Well, you just said you can only do stationary, so you don't have that other option, right? I mean, that's basically what you just said. But then you asked me, should you do A or B? So do you have option B or do you not? If you only have option A, then work with what you have. It doesn't matter what another option would work or what can significantly improve. If you only got one option, that's all you got. So work with what you have. 360 waiver says, I'm 12 years old. I'm trying to get more in shape. Are there any programs I can use without requiring weights or any other equipment? Yes, and that is called the Ultimate Athlete. 15 weeks, no weights, no equipment, no gym. You can do it on the front lawn at hoophandbook.com. It's written by my trainer, Maria Solenscow. Mon Rosales says, thanks a lot. You're a big help to me since I've been watching your videos. I learned a lot. Well, thank you, Mon. I'm glad to hear that, and you're welcome. M Production says, what do you do outside of... no, it's not a good question. An Annoying Asian says, is there an easy technique to learn how to work on the Euro step because I always end up traveling? Annoying Asian, what do you mean by easy technique? Easy is relative again. If you want to get better at the Euro step, practice the Euro step. He said he always ends up traveling. That's because you haven't practiced it enough. So yes, that's a very easy thing, which means you need to go practice. I got tutorials on the Euro step, and I got at least 60 to 80 videos of different moves and combinations that end up using the Euro step move. I actually just posted something on Instagram today where I used the Euro step. My Instagram is Dre Baldwin for those who don't know. So Annoying Asian, there is no easy way to get good at basketball, because if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. So you need to put in the work if you want it to be easy. And the Euro step's easy for me because I practice it a lot. So if you want it to be easy for you, you need to put in the work. Aunt Reed says, I live in Philly. Whenever you come up, would you be willing to be doing some drills and work out and play one-on-one with people, or do I prefer working out alone? Aunt Reed, for the most part, I work out alone, and don't take it personal. Since I don't know you, I don't ever commit to working out with somebody whom I don't know. I've never seen them play. I don't know anything about their game. I get requested that all the time. And like I said, it's not personal. I don't know you, so it's not nothing against you yourself. But no, I don't just work out with random people. I work out by myself for the most part. As far as when I do come to Philly for the basketball tournament this summer, I'm going to be there for the tournament. I'm not going to be there just randomly working out. So the answer to your question is no. Pargus Ryan says, my ball handling is improving so good since I've been doing your drills. I'm a 16-year-old kid from Belgium. Thank you for the videos. Paragas. I'm very glad to hear that. Thank you for letting me know. And he says his problem is when he's on the court, he can't use all his ball handling because he gets afraid to lose the ball. He plays one-on-one. He does stuff that he's doing crazy stuff that sucks because he works on it a lot. Do I have a solution? Well, Paragas, the number one solution is that you need to keep playing and keep playing and keep playing in more and more games. That's the only way you're going to get over that problem. Just like I told the earlier person, same question. People who play well, they practice and they do really good, but when they get into a game situation, they're not doing that good. It's the same thing for you. Go read on the guides and tips page on my website. I'm going to have an annotation over here about that. So click on that. Check out all the stuff that I wrote about people who freeze up when it's time for the game. Mr. Basketball, he says, how far away from the basket is a European three-point line? It's the same as the NBA. How many games are in a season when you play overseas? Well, Mr. Basketball, as far as the distance of the three-point line, I don't want to lie to you, so why don't you just look that up? And it's not as the same as the NBA. The NBA's three-point line is the furthest in all of basketball. That's 23 feet, 9 inches. European one, I believe they might have moved it to 21 or 22 feet. That's it. And how many games in a season overseas? Mr. Basketball, overseas is not just one big league. Overseas means any different country outside of the NBA, outside of the United States, that's across the ocean. So Spain has a season, Israel has a season, Australia has a season, Japan has a season, Germany has a season. These are all separate countries. They're all countries just like America is a country. So they all have their own leagues, and they all run them however they want to run them. So each country has their own league. And if you want to know how those work, all you got to do is Google it, look it up, and read the information. That is, if you really want to know. Ali Foyer says, do I ever watch any Elliot Hulse videos, and if so, can I do a video with him? No, I don't really watch him. I do believe I heard of him and maybe checked out a couple when somebody had mentioned him to me earlier. By the way, while I'm talking about that, if any of you have a suggestion of someone I could do a collaboration with outside of Elliot Hulse, let me know. Leave them in the comments to this video. If it's somebody you want to see me do a collaboration with, I will reach out and do it if I hear of some people worthy. This last summer I did Kick Genius, I did Big Brandon Carter, I did Nightwing, I did Fomer Simpson, it was one other I can't think of. I did the Verse 1 Federation, and there's somebody else that I can't think of off the top of my head. Devin Williams, 10,000 Hours. I did Q&As with all these people. If you go to the collaborations playlist on my channel, you'll see those videos. But when I did watch Elliot, I don't think I saw anything that made me want to do a collaboration with him, but I might be wrong. So if there is somebody else, like I said, leave me in the comments to this video. Daniel Boras says, can I do a 360 dunk? Can I upload a video of my best dunks if I can? Can I do a 360 dunk? Yeah, I could. Am I going to just do it for show? No. Not anymore. Those days of me doing dunks for show is over. But if you go to my channel and look up, just type in Dre Baldwin dunks, and you'll see some videos I've done of certain dunks. It might be a 360 in there, it might not, but if it ain't, sorry, you just ain't gonna see it. GM Canlas says, what do I like most about the San Antonio Spurs? Do I think they'll win the championship? Well, the Spurs are a great team. They're good every year. They're always in contention. They got their main guys, Tony, Manu, and Tim, and the coach, of course. Kawhi Leonard's a great player. They got a good bench, good role player, supporting cast. And they was right there last year. I mean, it came down to one game to win the championship. So I think they are definitely in the running. I think in the West, teams I like the most right now in the West are the Clippers, Spurs, and OKC Thunder. And in the East, I like, of course, we got the Pacers and we got the Heat. And Brooklyn's doing pretty well, but I think the Pacers and Heat will beat them. Either of them will beat Brooklyn. Houston's doing pretty good too. So I think the Spurs will be there in the end somehow, some way. I think it'll be the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. I think Spurs against, right now I got to say Thunder. I like the Clippers, but I'm going to go with Spurs, Thunder, and then the East, Pacers, Heat. Who's going to win? I ain't even going to get into that yet. KD Titan 35 says, what basic exercise did you do when you were younger to start dunking at that young age? KD Titan, the exercise I did to start dunking and jumping high was a program called Air Alert. I no longer recommend Air Alert. I switched over to Jump Manual. I like that program a lot better. It's more comprehensive. And the thing with Jump Manual is that you can get in touch with Jacob, the person who wrote the program, and get answers to your personal questions, as opposed to Air Alert, because once you get it, you pretty much dead in the mud. You basically stick in the mud. You stuck with doing things on your own. I just like the technology explanation of Jump Manual more than I like the explanation of Air Alert, which is why I co-sign Jump Manual these days. So that would be dreallday.com/jump. That's where you can get the Jump Manuals. You will guaranteed gain 10 inches on your vertical in 12 weeks or your money back. It don't get no better than that. If it don't give you 10 inches, you get your money back. That's it. Dmitry Tukovic says, I'm curious, have I ever been to Serbia? Because I played ball in Montenegro. They pretty much are neighbors. Dmitry, hey, did I ever go to Serbia? Yes, I did play in Montenegro. I can't remember if I ever actually went in Serbia, if I was actually physically there. But I do have a lot of friends from Serbia back then. Yeah, I talked to a lot of people from Serbia when I was out there, because there wasn't a lot of Americans around. So everybody kind of knew who I was in the area once I got around, especially on the internet and stuff like that. But yeah, I do have a lot of cool people I know from Serbia and let's see, Belgrade, Nikšić is Montenegro. That's Novi Sad, and it was one other city. I can't remember the name of it. Lil Mo 102 says, while wearing the KD6, did I experience any discomfort in the ankle when I played with them? Did they cut into my ankle? Because I hear that complaint a lot from people. Lil Mo 102, no. I had no problems at all wearing the KD6 when I played ball on them. He's referring to the KD6s that we played in the Nike Summer Series last August in Brooklyn, New York. No problems at all. I didn't experience any discomfort, no pain, nothing. I just don't like the sneaks that much myself. But that's no problems at all with the sneaker itself. Stephen Poak says, I read a few posted comments. He feels sorry for me having spent time on stupid questions. Anyway, he said he doesn't have any questions. He said after 4 years, he thinks all his questions have been answered. Well, Stephen, I'm glad to hear that. I think a lot of other people feel that way too. I know the majority of people who watch these videos don't even leave comments, but the people who do leave comments, I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate y'all who watch and don't say shit. I appreciate everybody. So those are all the questions for this week. Thank you, everybody, for coming through. We got this done in about 35 minutes. As usual, any questions you have that I have not already covered, you can leave them in the comments to this video. If you want to hear me collab with anybody or see me collab with anybody on YouTube, leave a comment in this video and let me know who. I will look them up, look into them. If I find something interesting that we can talk about, then I will contact them. If not, then I won't. That's that. Again, you can get your Work on Your Game bands. We got size medium and size large. They're at woyg.net. Hats are coming next. We're going to have some hats coming next. T-shirts, we're going to have a few T-shirts, but I mean, everybody's selling T-shirts these days, so I ain't going crazy about the shirts. I think hats are going to come next. We're going to do these bands here. Like I said, $5. Domestic shipping is $5. International shipping is $8. We got to charge that because they charging us. That's it. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. Thank you. Enjoy the weekend.